Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome to this 26th session of this Ramadan Tafseer. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen wa afdalu salati wa atammu taslim ala Sayyidina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'een wa ba'd. In this session I'll be looking at Surah Al-Zukhruf, Surah Al-Dukhan and Surah Al-Jathiyah. All three are Makki surahs. Surah Al-Zukhruf, the gold ornaments, kind of gives a clue that it's also named, it's named due to the enjoyments of this world, this temporary enjoyments of this world, and that will be mentioned in the surah. And this surah principles again of Islamic beliefs. It mentions the Quran, its truth, and about its revelation, as well as the disbelievers and how they, in their period of being in this ignorant society, they were the views they had, like the angels, they made that the daughters of Allah. So Allah refutes that, as well as the other things that they come up with. In Surah Al-Dukhan, the smoke, now it's more about the day of judgment, towards that time when that smoke will appear, and it is named also because that smoke has also appeared at the time of the Prophet ﷺ, when the drought came onto the disbelievers through the Prophet ﷺ's dua against them, and they were in famine, and as if they couldn't see each other, as if there was a smoke screen. So this surah, again a Makki surah, mentions the positions of the idolaters with the Quran and the end game for the believers, the abrar, the pious righteous, as well as the mujrimeen, the sinners, the fujjar. As far as Surah Al-Jathiyah is concerned, the kneeling now, here it's about that momentous day, that day that will be so full of worry. It's that day of judgment, that day of torment, and it's going to speak about that, as well as it speaks about the favors of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that He has given, and in particular as well to the Banu Israel, how He had honored them and given to them that He hasn't given to others before, and how they turned it upside down, and when they got food from Jannah, al-manna wa salwa for example, they wanted potatoes and onions instead. So how they went totally opposite and were such ungrateful people. In the first ayah I want to look at, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in Surah Al-Zukhruf, الَّذِي جَعَلَ لَكُمْ أَرْضًا مَهْدًا, that Allah has made the earth a bed. So He's made the earth a bed for us. So it's like the earth is like a bed, it's tashbih. And that is all I wanted to say on this part, because I just wanted to use the word al-ard as well, that we are now here, alhamdulillah, at the end game of Ramadan, and it is just a reminder that it is not only about Ramadan. We have 11 months afterwards, so our fasting may stop, but let's just ponder that the earth that we're speaking about, it actually never stops fasting. We have a lifespan. In our lifespan, if we're born from 0 until 60 to 70, let's say, because that's the average age of the Ummah of the Prophet ﷺ, as he mentioned, it seems like the earth is fasting until that period, and then it eats us up, it takes us in, consumes us. But in reality, there's no moment that passes away that someone is dying. There's no moment that someone is actually being born. So we have to realize that the earth never fasts. So our fast may stop, but really our ibadahs should continue further than that. We should fast the 6th of Shawwal and further times, as well as in ibadat, in worship, in prayers. So it's this boost. Ramadan is a boost, definitely, but how high the levels of ibadah we reach, we should continue it post Ramadan. The second ayah in Surah Al-Zukhruf, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَجَعَلُوا لَهُ مِنْ عِبَادِهِ جُزْءًا, that they made Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala being associated with the peace of the servants of Him, that they say that Isa alayhi salam is the son of Allah, so His servants, they made from His servants a peace linked to Him, that as His son is from one of His servants. Na'udhu billahi min dhalik. So Allah says, إِنَّ الْإِنسَانَ لَكَفُورٌ مُبِينٌ, in the next ayah of that verily man is a ingrate, manifest ingrate, ungrateful. And then here he uses inna, li, and la, the lam. So it's verily, indeed, surely. It's talking about the man is a very ingrate person. And as Allah says, that only a few of His slaves are the ones who thank Him. We can see why. In the next ayah in Surah Al-Dukhan, فما بكت عليهم السماء والأرض وما كانوا منظرين. That it says, so neither the sky and the earth wept over them, nor they were given a respite. And this is now speaking post the demise of Fir'aun and his total removal of of him and his army, their existence from this earth. They died and they were destroyed, and the earth and the sky did not weep for them. That as if they just carried on. Nothing changed. So here also is using isti'ara because earth and sky don't weep as such, but here just saying that their going away made no difference whatsoever. Life carried on, and they weren't. There's nothing to cry over, nothing to be sad over by the earth and the sky. In the next ayah, Surah Al-Jathiyah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَيْلٌ لِكُلِّ أَفَّاكٍ أَثِيمٍ. Here, أَفَّاكٍ is using fa'al, a scale that is in terms of mubalagha, in terms of kind of reach to the end point of that there's more of that exceedingly in it. That woe to every sinful liar, woe to every sinful liar, wail. Anytime a wail comes in the Quran, know that after that is going to be something that's going to be haram, not from the saghair, from the minor sins, but from the major, from the kabair. So wailul lil mutaffifin, those who defraud, major sin. Wailul likulli humazatil lumaza, those backbiters, deriders, slanderers, woe to them as well. So know that anything doing harm to people from in whichever way or form, even by speech, even by ishara, kind of making reference, pointing with your shoulders, making with your eyes, how you make ishara, all of it is haram from the kabair. And anything is that is kabair, a major sin, needs tawbah. So let us be from those who do not commit major sins. Minor sins are those that from Ramadan to Ramadan, from Salah to Salah, to wudu, from any good acts, they get wiped out. But for major sins, only a tawbah is required. Only a tawbah can wipe them out. In the next ayah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Surah Al-Jathiyah again, Allahu alladhi sakhara lakum al-bahra litajriya fulka fihi bi-amri wa sakhara lakum ma fi as-samawati wa ma fi al-ardi jami'an minhu. That He has subjugated for us the seas for ships to sail in it, so that we may go and get the favors from Allah, whatever Allah has given us, from the pearls, the oysters in the ocean, from food, the fish, from anything that's from the sea is halal, alhamdulillah. So Allah has given us all this to control a ship on the sea, because it doesn't sink, it actually floats, and that is from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that He's making a pointed reference to. And then whatever's in the heavens and the earth, everything is all for we are the ones in the top of the food chain as such, but we are the ones that control, and we are the ones who are actually also destroying this world from the things that we speak about in the environment, the plastics, this global warming, this climate change, all this from our the carbon footprints that we have, and so on and so forth. So we put in, and that's why the angels, they were like saying, oh, you're putting humankind on the earth, they'll just be doing corruption, and they will be doing bloodshed and spoiling this earth. And it is true. In the next ayah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, هذا كتابنا ينطق عليكم بالحق إنا كنا نستنزخ ما كنتم تعملون. This is from Surah Al-Jathiyah again, where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is using isti'ara, where He says, this is our book that speaks, because the book doesn't speak. This is our book that speaks against you with truth. We used to record all that you used to do. So this book we're talking about is the book of deeds, the amal. And what is the greater witness? A book of deeds, or our own selves saying things, our own body telling? A book that has recorded everything. ما يلفظ من قول إلا لديه رقيب عتيد, as it comes in hadith, in the Quranic ayah, that nothing is uttered except that there is a watcher. Raqib atid, the angels, Raqib atid, they are watching, recording. So every time we utter anything from our tongue, our mouth, or we make ishara, it's all being recorded. And that's what we have to be careful of. Whatever is recorded comes in this book of deeds, and it can be a witness against us. And finally, the last verse, وقال اليوم ننساكم كما نسيتم لقاء يومكم هذا ومأواكم النار وما لكم من ناصرين. Where Allah says, it will be said, today we will forget you. Does Allah forget? No, it is not about speaking about that, but speaking about being irrelevant. Who will be irrelevant? No, as you forgot facing this day, this day of meeting that was going to come, this day of judgment, we were going to meet Allah. We forgot about that, so Allah forgot about us. Not in reality, He forgot about us. Nothing is going to go past Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He knows everything. And your abode is the fire, and there is none to help you. So, what a sad situation for a person who forgets Allah, who forgets this day that we're going to meet, that Allah will forget them. May Allah never forget us, and we may always remember Allah, because if we remember Allah, Allah remembers us in a better gathering. وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وبارك وسلم.